Hello, Barbara. Peter Melton. I was in your first Gateway teleconference
Oh my
um,
goodness, Peter.
way back. I was living in Ashland, Oregon, working with Neil Donald Walsh back in the days there, and recently reconnected with Shakhtari, who's doing a bunch of work with you now, I
Yes,
understand.
she is. Are you living in Oregon?
No, I'm in Chico. I'm in Chico here with
I
Rahasha, doing some work with the Lotus Guide, and was ever since. And I know Steve Dinan and Deva, and ever since that whole shift thing was coming out, we tried to get the interview for 3 months ago for our last issue and didn't quite get it. So I was very happy that we were able to put it together for this one.
thank you. Thank you. You a conscious evolutionary in your worldview?
I'm sorry you cut out there for a second.
Do you sort of share a conscious evolutionary worldview?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. In fact, I'm in communication with Shakhtari about that because I have a project that I'm sharing with her to through the Shift Network about that, about how I think the underlying everything is that we need to realize that we're in this together, and
Yes,
that do unto others as you would have others do unto you because they are you, and that
I know. See that's a characteristic of the universal human. I'm just making up a name that the type of human who feels that way, who just takes it naturally, connected to the heart, to the whole of life, and awakening with these life purpose and desire for contributing and all of that. It's like Mother Earth is giving birth to a co-creative human
yes,
all over the place. And
yes.
we're propping up like daffodils in the spring. You know, when I grew up, I was born in 1929, and in my younger years and all of that, I never met anybody
Hmm.
like me.
Yeah.
And then I had my 5 children in Lakeville, Connecticut, never met anyone for 20 years. Then I met one or two in the 60s, and then it started to crop up. And now I think there's a rise of a type of human consciousness that's global. It's not a religion and it's not an organization, it's a person.
Yeah. It's that feeling, that knowing of the connection that we're not separate from our planet, we're not separate from each other, we're not separate from creative force or create the creative energy, the evolutionary energy.
Right.
That's what we are, and that's what the project is. Because this feels so much like kind of like the peace movement is the only thing I can compare to it. Is that we're looking to shift a consciousness through what we're up to, and so that's kind of where my project came out of, was this idea of maybe we could have a hand signal like the peace sign that could help people share that this is how they're feeling. And so I came up with one that starts with the two
Oh,
fingers.
that Shakhtari told me about
Did
that.
she tell you about the together sign?
Oh, that was you who came up with
That
that.
was me. And so
I
I didn't know if
see.
she had a chance to share that with you last
She
week or not.
she did. We were in where were we? Atlanta together.
Yeah, she said she
Yeah,
might have a chance to share that. And it's
she
just been
did.
welling up in me, that signal to
I,
say we appear to be separate and we're not. Um,
see,
so
how did
that's,
you know? Or how do you know that? How did you find that out?
well, wow, there's a good, no one's asked that question. Um, well, all this feeling of oneness and this whole spiritual angle about oneness and how we're connected, and that who we really are. I think it came through the spiritual angle of who we really are is this life energy, this evolutionary urge, this lifing, if you will. And if that's the case, if that's what I am, then I'm just an expression of that, and so are you, and so is Rahasha, and so are all of we. Kind of like the ocean is the ocean, but if a wave took on human consciousness, it would think, "Oh my God, I'm just this little wave," and not remember that it's actually the ocean expressing. And so that parable of the ocean and the wave really sunk deep with me to say that's the same thing we're dealing with, is that we are this evolutionary flow, but we're convinced somehow that we're some separate little being.
Yeah. So what you're really expressing, I think, is that evolutionary human understanding,
Yeah.
which has been in great beings for thousands of years, but as a type of human, as a new norm, as millions of people feeling this way, is something really significant. And I'm so glad to meet you, Peter, and I do need to go now.
Yes. Thank you
So,
for your extra minute, and thank
yeah,
you for the interview, and
keep
together.
on doing the great work.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
bye-bye.
Be
Bye,
well.
everybody.
Thanks.